This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
This is the final part of the beginning or the creation of TNA. Before we get to the first show, yes, we are going to cover the next show or the first show on our next show. You'll figure this out eventually. We're gonna do a watch along next week, Jeff. And I think you even had some reservations about. Wait a minute, we're gonna talk about watching video for a podcast. Yes, Jeff, we do it all the time, and I encourage people to go sign up for the Impact app so they can watch along with us because it is a pretty monumental show. I mean, next year will be the 20-year anniversary of creating TNA, and I don't know, man, what a fascinating story. You betting on yourself. You've been on, I don't know, thousands of shows. And now this is your first show that's got your fingerprints all over it. You did it. It's your show. It's your money. And we're going to watch it together next week. Are you nervous, anxious, excited?
Just the whole concept of the watch along. Yeah. Yes. Is and you reference our good buddy, Tony Schiavone does that on all episodes now. And so, I'm if you ever in Conrad, you'll see when you're in my house, if a ball game's on or even a TV show or even a Dateline or 48 Hours, when something's on, people shut up. Let's watch the program. And so we're talking over the program. And I think that's contrary to my nature because Karen can attest or the kids can attest. Oh, hush. They used to make jokes about it. Dad's watching this, or whatever. So, but I am looking forward to it because that first show, oh man, my childhood idol, Jackie Fargo. And then, I admired Ricky Steamboat, WrestleMania 3 match against Savage and all that. And I had the connection with Randy and then the NWA championship. And then what you just said, starting show one of a promotion and all that went into it. Toby Keith there, he was red hot at the time. NASCAR drivers. So racing, wrestling, and country music all in one hotbed in your backyard. And isn't it kind of not ironic? It's I don't believe in
serendipitous that we're doing a show and I'm here in Huntsville, and that's where it all started.
My podcast partner is from Huntsville. That is unique.
And I was at that show, and we're going to talk about it next week. It's pretty cool, man.
Was that a blessing or a curse? You were at that first show.
I loved it. It was exciting that. I was ready for the next big thing. I missed WCW. I missed ECW. I wanted an alternative. And the idea that the alternative was happening and it was literally happening up the road for me was too cool for words. And, I think I've seen a lot of feedback online on social media where people say, I never watched a minute of TNA, but I've been fascinated with hearing how TNA was created. And I think that's what's so fun about this to me, Jeff. There's never been a podcast that could explain what we're doing right now. How you started a podcast, not a podcast, but a wrestling company from absolute scratch. That doesn't exist. You can't go find this story anywhere else.
And that goes into why you're the podfather again. But no, I never looked at what I did 20 years ago or 30 years ago, or even 10 years ago but specifically the story as podcast worthy, if you will, or book worthy, guys that write books. I know we've had conversations offline. I've never been a fan of a guy that really writes a book. Mick Foley did some great books, but there are some other books out there that are books just to be written books. I've never considered myself writing a book, but this is a live audio book with interaction and commentary back and forth. And the cool thing is when you go online, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, you just what you said, that granular. I mean, we got so granular last week. It kind of wasn't my cup of tea. I'll say that diplomatically.
You thought it was boring. When we were done, you said, hey, are people going to like that? This was kind of boring.
To me, it is. In a lot of ways it is. But look, I have certainly learned in the last few years, I'm not always right, contrary to my belief. But no, I just find it in a way fascinating. But what's cool is those comments that really get into social media and the things they comment, I just not only takes, okay, yeah, that happened, but they're second nature or whatever it is, but it's like, if I stop and really think about, oh, wow, okay, they've really never heard that side of the story, or even that component of starting a wrestling business, and what, like the concept or the financing, or wait, that's his dad writing this book. And the clip that the Ad Free guys did, and you said, well, buddy, your dad, whatever, your dad quit the next day. I just chuckle, and life is so interesting with its twists and turns. But yeah, I'm ready to dig in. I am glad that this is part 3, and we're finally going to get to the first show, because my first love has always been the in-ring component of this, and we're going to get there and talk about the Gauntlet for the Gold and the Johnsons and T.O. and Puppet and all your other favorite fascinating things that happen on show 1. So it's your show, Connie. Let's roll.
Since we're talking about, hey, who writes a book? Who cares about a book? Don't forget to buy your dad's book.
Oh my
Story
God.
of the development of the NWA TNA, a new concept in pay-per-view programming. I got mine on Amazon. I got Jeff one on Amazon that probably still has the plastic on it. Let's jump into it.
Conrad, guess where I'm going after we record this?
To your dad's house.
Close. Going to eat lunch with him.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not at a Huntsville favorite that I like, but it's the comparable.
Meeting 3 Jones up there.
You got it, my man.
I got it. I feel strongly that saving money is important. If it's not something we worry about now, boy, we are really going to worry about it later. And I want to help you get out of debt faster and do it with cheaper monthly payments. I'm talking to you if you're in a 30-year loan. Now is the time to take years off of your loan. We're routinely helping our listeners cut 5, 10, even 15 years off their loan. And you can do this without perfect credit, with no money out of pocket. You've just got to start at savewithconrad.com. There's some last-minute talks with talent like Lex Luger to bring them in for the debut show. At this point, are you reaching out to talent, or is talent reaching out to you?
Both. It sort of began to take a life of its own. And I'm not saying right before the first show, but as the weeks and days, weeks, and months started to roll along, there was, yes, my phone. And and probably to this day, I carry with some folks a bad rep, because there was a time, I'd wake up to, 30, 40, 50 voicemails. It's just, mailbox full, but, and not returning calls. So there was a time when my phone rang off the hook and everything that went with it. And I was also constantly on the phone calling talent, and the talent that were already on board. You have to have a relationship with them. A young talent, you got to nurture. It's a lot of phone call time in this industry.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.